You know, there's one thing almost nobody talks about. Everyone talks about how to succeed, how to grow, how to achieve results, but almost no one talks about how to keep it, how not to fall back, not to lose everything, not to collapse after some time. And this is where things get really interesting, because achieving results is only half of the journey. Sometimes it's even the easier part. The harder part is stabilization, making it your normal state. Not a peak, not luck, not it just happened, but your baseline. And this is where most people break, because growth is not just about actions, it's about your state. And if your state is unstable, your results won't last. Let's be honest, have you ever noticed that you go through phases where everything just clicks? You have energy, clarity, momentum. You take action. You get results. You feel like this is it. And then something drops. Energy goes down, focus disappears, doubt comes back, and slowly you slide backwards. Then you try to push again, and again, and again. These swings, that's instability. So let's go deeper. Why does this happen? First, you know how to enter a state, but you don't know how to stay in it. Many people can turn on through motivation, through emotion, through inspiration. But that's temporary, because it's a peak. And peaks don't last. When it fades, there's no system to hold you. Second, very important, you tie your state to results. If things go well, you feel good. If not, you crash. So your inner state becomes dependent on external outcomes. And the external world is unstable, which means you'll always swing. Third, you don't anchor the new state. You experience it, but you don't repeat it. So your system goes back to the old normal. Because the old is familiar, the new feels temporary, unless you reinforce it. Fourth, you try to hold everything through tension, control, pressure, force. That doesn't last, because tension burns you out. And after tension comes a drop. Now the most important part, what does stabilization actually mean? It doesn't mean being at your peak all the time. That's impossible. Stability is not about maximum, it's about consistency, a baseline that you can hold, even without motivation, even without emotion, even when you don't feel like it. That's a different level. Now, let's get practical. What do you do? First, stop chasing peaks. Peaks are a bonus, not the foundation. The foundation is your base level. Ask yourself, what state can I hold every day? Calmly. Not perfect, but real. Start from there. Second, create a simple system. Not complicated, not overloaded. Something you can do, even on a low-energy day. Small actions, but consistent, because stability is built on repetition, not intensity. Third, separate state from results. This is key. You can be in a strong state, even without immediate results. And once you stop depending on outcomes, you stop swinging. Fourth, track your state. Not just results. Notice, I stayed focused today. I showed up. I didn't break. This builds inner stability. Fifth, handle setbacks correctly. A setback is not failure, it's part of the process. The goal is not to avoid it, but to shorten it. If you used to fall off for a week, make it a day, then a few hours. That's growth. Sixth, drop the all or nothing mindset. It destroys stability because you either overload or disappear. Stability lives in the middle. Consistency. Seventh, learn to return quickly without self-judgment, without drama. Just, I slipped and I'm back. That's a skill and it changes everything. Now even deeper, the most important thing. Stabilization is not a technique. It's identity. It's the moment when you stop being someone who sometimes shows up and becomes someone who shows up consistently. That doesn't happen overnight, but that's the direction. And now, the key insight. You don't lose results. You lose the state. That creates them. And when you learn to hold the state, results follow automatically. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "I choose stability." This matters. You're locking in a new level, and make sure to subscribe, because we're going even deeper. And yes, watch this again, because this kind of awareness builds over time. And remember, success is not a peak, it's a state you can hold. And once that becomes your normal, your whole life changes, because anything is possible.